What's going on, everybody? We got another live Palace news today. We're going to be breaking down some of the things that we heard from Roy's press conference from earlier today. Talk about some of the news on players, some of the things going on with the team, with the squad. All right. So be a little bit quicker because, like, literally, this is pretty much all we're talking about. Hopefully, Dee will be able to join us here too. Really gonna be chatting with you guys in the chat a lot, getting your views and your thoughts. Be back with you in 1 second. What it is, what it was, what it should be, everybody. What's up? Welcome to another edition of Live Palace News. I am your host, T, man. Happy Friday to everybody, man. Shout out to the weekend, man. We are 1 day away from bringing back Palace for uh, another weekend of Premier League football. It was a decent break for sure. 2 weeks of internationals. I'm happy that we back to where we are. I'm ready to see Palace play again. Tim, what's up, man? How's it going, brother? Good to see you, man. So today's show in particular, different than what we do with some of our other news shows. Today is going to be specifically on the manager's press conference. So for those of you that either were able to tune in and watch it or have been keeping up to date with it via different social media platforms, we're going to talk about some of the quotables, some of the pieces that we saw in Roy's press conference today. He actually had a rather longer one as far as the section where we actually got to see it. I think it was like 24 minutes long, and usually I believe it's 8ish to 10ish. So we'll chat about some of the things that he talked about during the interview, and then also get you all's opinion on different things, whether it be what we're going to do moving forward for the Villa match as far as personnel, and what to expect from certain things moving forward with the team. So, uh, I guess kicking it off and thinking about where everything started with the the interview, updating injuries. So, in the update to the injuries, let's just start with Marc Guehi. Okay, so he was quoted. Roy was quoted as saying uh, that in speaking about Marc Guehi, he will likely miss the game. It's a problem that we think can be easily managed, or he isn't unduly worried about it. But it's come too soon, and it's unfortunate. It's a problem that we think can be easily managed. Or we had 10 days, or even 4 or 5. We might have got him fit, but I'm afraid the day's training he's done today wasn't enough. So here's the thing. Um, Marc Guehi got hurt this week in that match. God, I can't remember who they're playing. You guys tap me in on who they're playing. I can't remember. It's slipping my mind at the moment. But he did get hurt earlier this week, and it sounds from what Roy is saying that Mark did train. He did train, but it's just a matter of the timeline. Skylar, yes, thank you, Tim, thank you. It's a matter of the timeline, how much time we had um, prior to the match coming. So it doesn't sound like it's too serious with Marc Guehi. Um, Sounds like if like you said, if we had a little bit more time, or maybe if we were playing next weekend, maybe even midweek, he would be able to be back. So it's good to know that yes, he's going to be out for this one, but it's not a long term thing. Looking at who we had to replace him, out of all our positions, I think this is the one position at the moment that me personally, and I think a lot of other people would agree, um, there's not as much work just because we have really solid reinforcements in this area comparatively to others, and we'll get to those. Um, Mitch says, yeah, it's not ideal for the weekend, but Villa away isn't a season defining game for us. We move. Right, Mitch, and I agree with you there. And I mean, I think that, you know, like I think that not having Guehi for this one honestly isn't the biggest loss that we're dealing with, and then we'll get into that in a second. What's up, Zach? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Um, Looks like moving on to the next one. Roy did chat a little bit about uh, Matheus Franca. So he did say that he'll be back with them in a couple of weeks. Um, he also said that it's not one of those situations where he would, uh, start at the beginning of the week and, be in the mix of things, really playing, doing his thing with the team right away. It sounds like from what Roy is saying, he's going to need some time to get up to speed, to understand the way that they want to play, to, bed in with his teammates. So for everybody that's thinking that, Francis, once he's healthy, is going to really get in there and take a spot in the squad, really don't see that happening, man. Really don't see that happening. Bollocks, what's up, man? Good evening to you. So it seems like in very Roy-esque fashion, when it comes to young guys, it's going to be a process for them to find their way into the squad. He doesn't walk into our starting 11. I think a lot of us feel like he should, and he has the talent and the ability to. But Roy's very old school when it comes to that, man. He's very, very old school. He really feels like players should earn their way into the lineup. So it sounds like it's going to be a process for him to find his way into the team. But first things first, he got to get healthy. We got to get him training, and then we'll go from there. I think, I very much believe cream rises to the top, and eventually we'll be seeing him out there on the pitch on a consistent basis. Now, before I move on, guys, don't forget, first of all, thank you to all of you tuning in right now. We're right around 30ish to 40 people tuning in live, and I really do appreciate it. For all of you that are tapping in with me, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate all of the interaction that we get from the chat each and every time we go live. It's awesome. It makes it to where we're in the situation where one of us has to go solo. It's never an issue because we have all of you interacting with us, so we really appreciate that. Please it helps us out immensely. And if you're tuning in and you like the content and you're a Palace fan, and even if you're not a Palace fan and you like the content, please subscribe. We appreciate it. Like Bollock said here, hit the like button. Just hit the like button. But so moving on to the next update from the injury standpoint, which is probably one that, in my opinion, is probably the one that hurts us the most right now. Jefferson Lerma is dealing with a hamstring injury, and he will not be playing at the weekend. And I tweeted about this earlier today. And me personally, I think this is the missed player that's going to hurt us the most. And I say that not to say that Jefferson Lerma is so much better than Marc Guehi, and it means so much more to us, but the fact that without Lerma in there, the drop-off in the talent behind him is much more significant than the drop-off that you would see with, losing a Marc Guehi and pivoting to someone like a Richards or Holding. Now, if you go from Guehi to Tompkins, that's pretty significant. But I feel like in this situation right now, what we have set up, I wouldn't expect to see Tompkins. We won't see Tompkins, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But I think losing Lerma is big for us as far as the talent that's in the center. So he'll be out with a hamstring injury, hopefully not for too long. He was on international duty with Colombia, played 290s, played 2 90-minute performances, and obviously that hamstring got to him. He didn't ever have to come off because of the hamstring. So I don't know how much that factors into it. You know what I mean? Did different if he does the hamstring in the match and comes out and, he can't go at all because he had to come out of the game early, but he played full 90s. So maybe it's just some irritation in the hamstring, or a little bit of he just feels it a little bit. So hopefully, like you said, it's similar to, like we said earlier, similar to Guehi. It's not something that'll put him out for too long, but something that just needs to be managed in the timeline, which is a little bit too close for him to be able to play at the weekend. And then the update on James Tompkins was a very quick one. He didn't say a whole lot about him, but he did say that he will not be available and that he suffered a minor injury. So it sounds like our three center backs are going to be available for the match will be Anderson, Richards, and Holding. So I would imagine Anderson's going to be starting, and got to figure out who is going to be starting next to him between Richards and Holding. Now, in the chat, give me your opinion. Let me know, Richards or Holding. Who do y'all think should be starting next to Anderson? We're talking about right now. Chris Richardson, who is a U.S. international, is pretty much their go-to center back right now. When he's healthy, he's been starting and playing really well, almost about 400 minutes without conceding a goal right now for country. So he's been performing at a high level for the U.S. And of course, you have Rob Holding, who, as we said, we were to acquire on deadline day from Arsenal. He's proven Premier League player, so he's a quality guy. So more than likely, it'll be one of those two. Me personally, I would like to see Richards. I think Richards, he gives us a lot. He brings a lot to the table, and he has a lot of qualities similar to that of Marc Guehi. He's really good with the ball at his feet. He's really good with both feet, left and right foot. He's better in the air than Marc Guehi is. I will give him that. May not have the same leadership qualities on the pitch that Marc Guehi does. Marc is fantastic there, but as I said, it's great to have a guy like Richardson right there waiting in the wings in the event of an injury. So Zach says Richards for sure. Holding will come off the bench if needed. Yeah, and that's one of the things. I mean, the other reason why I think it makes sense for Holding to come off the bench is because Holding hasn't played at all this year, really. You know, he didn't play at all for Arsenal. He's probably really just been training for the most part. So game shape is really the thing for him. But you got a guy like Richards who's been playing full 90s for his country too, and training with both country and club too. So, and he knows the system, knows the players. He's comfortable with Palace. Tim says Richards has been brilliant during the international duty, so much so that Hercules Gomez and Seb Salazar were talking about whether the United States should drop Reem. And yeah, I mean, and Tim, that's an interesting conversation. Me and you need to take that up offline. But and it's tough for me too because Tim Ream's the St. Louis guy. I'm from St. Louis, so but Tim, we'll have that conversation. We will. And Mitch says, I know it isn't popular, but I want to see Holding. I'm not claiming he's better, but he's new to us, so I'd like to see what he can do in our shirt. I understand that. It's the new toy factor. You know what I'm saying? You went to the store, you got the brand new toy. As a grown man, whatever your hobbies are, whatever you want to roll it out. You want to see what it's like. You want to get the feel for it. I understand. It makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. Zach says we always take a while to bed in new players compared to other clubs, so I doubt Holding will get thrown in. And that's the thing too. Especially with Roy. Like I said, Roy's very old school when we talk about Franca. He really takes his time with bedding in guys and getting them used to it. However, if you're a Roy guy, and he's going to put you out there. We went out and got Rob Holding for a reason. Somebody likes him. Somebody wanted him. Even though we had 4 center backs at the time. Somebody liked him, so we went out and got him. And that means something. Now, if that person was Roy that was on board or really wants him, maybe we see him out there. I don't know. But my thing is, and y'all can go with me on this. If it was to be Holding, in the event that it was Holding, in that immediacy, what is Chris Richards thinking? Or what is Chris Richards going to do or want to do? Because he's met every criteria that he needed to in order to be picked for selection. When he's gotten in there and played, he's done extremely well. He's still performing in training. He's healthy. He is starting for his country and putting in quality performances. But lo and behold, Rob Holden comes in lacking game time from the season or amount of work rate, and he gets put in there. He's playing above him. I think it causes a problem, and or causes questions that need to be answered. Uh, Patrick, my man, says has to Richards for Guehi, or I'm seriously questioning. Yeah, the manager. Yeah, it's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not Richards when he's fully healthy and shown that he's fully healthy, why not? What's the issue? What's going on? What are the questions are being asked? It's like, what's the next step for Richards? Like, I don't, like, yeah, like Ryan is saying here, if Richards doesn't play, he might feel like enough is enough and it's time to move. Yeah, facts. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Because you're putting in high quality performance outside of it. So the last injury update was about Michael Elise, and he didn't tip his hat much on things with Michael Elise. Just kind of said that he was still working back, and he didn't want to give a timeline or rush anything because he was dealing with a pretty serious injury. But we've all seen what Elise is doing in his build up and his training. Is Roy playing coy? Is he not wanting to, put too much out there, say too much, do too much? Like, could that be it? I don't know, but it seems like he's just, I guess, kind of tempering things off on that. But my opinion, man, I feel like he's closer to being back than maybe what Roy's leaning on. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, training highlights are just training highlights. We didn't see the areas where he struggled. We didn't see his conditioning. We didn't see a lot of pieces that may have been more present in watching a live training either. Cody here says push Schlupp at center mid and get Roxaki in at left mid. Well, I mean, here's my thing. I get where you're coming from, Cody. I wouldn't mind Roxaki getting his opportunity to get out there. And I guess it all depends, too, on what type of formation we're in and things. It seems like Roxaki prefers the right side to be able to cut in onto his left foot. But the real thing for me is not having Jeffrey Schlupp in there. It doesn't matter if he's in the center, if it's on the wing. I would rather not see Jeffrey Schlupp start. I am of the vein here of my man Patrick. Was saying Will Hughes for Lerma. Bet everything you have on that one. And here's why. Will Hughes is going to give you a profile and a game style and a performance that's closer to what you'll get from Jefferson Lerma than what Jeffrey Schlupp will. I don't care how you feel, what you say, how much of a Jeffrey Schlupp fan you are. Will Hughes will play a match much more similar to what we can get from Jefferson Lerma than what Jeffrey Schlupp will. Period, point blank. And I think more, not to say that necessarily, Hughes is better than Schlupp. Hughes is an actual center midfielder. He's a central midfielder. Like, that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? So he plays the position like it more closely to what it's supposed to be played. Is he a goal scoring threat? No. He doesn't have the same goal scoring threat as Lerma. He's not going to be as good in the air as Lerma, but he's going to play hard. He's going to give you all the effort in the world. He's got a decent pass on him. I like it there. And Tim makes a good point here. I think we get more from Schlupp when he's a pacey, bothersome sub rather than a starter. I do agree with that. And then Zach says, we would love to see Schlupp in midfield. Hughes in midfield, Schlupp drop for Edouard and put Mateta up front. Yeah, either that or pairing Mateta and Edouard up front and letting Elise take that left midfield spot and then playing into the middle in possession and taking care of half spaces. Definitely would love to see that, me personally, as well. So moving on a little bit more into Roy's press conference, he talked a lot about uh, our matchup against Aston Villa and what it's been in the past, and how it's been a very much a fortress for them. Me and Dee talked about this during the match preview, and we haven't beaten Villa since 2013 at Villa Park. So we haven't beaten Villa since they've come back to the Premier League. So it's been a while. So it's definitely going to be a tough match, and Roy talked about that and gave a lot of respect to their team and what they have over there, which makes perfect sense. One of the quotes that I definitely took down and took from Ed Aarons was Roy's quote and said, where he said, "I certainly don't write off the chance of Crystal Palace at some stage getting into European competitions because teams like Brighton and the way Brentford have done the last few years has shown us the way." So I agree fully with what Roy is saying. And he's not saying, oh, we're going to be in European competitions this year or next year. He's saying at some stage, which could be 5 years from now. We don't know. But what he's saying, I think the greater point is that he's making is that clubs like Brighton are getting into European spots. Brentford, however, I think a lot of people took this out of context a little bit. Yes, Brentford hasn't gotten into European competitions. I don't think he was necessarily saying that. What I think he's saying that what he's saying is smaller clubs like Brentford have broken into the top 10 and been pushing for those places. So I think it's one thing for us to make a top 10 finish. It's another thing for us to make a top 10 finish and be pushing for a European spot. And it's a different thing to make a European spot. So I think in the context of his comment, he was saying that Brighton has shown that you can get the European spot as a smaller side if you make the right moves and you're playing the right way. He also said that with a team like Brentford, you can push into the top 10, be a top 10 team, and be pushing for a spot and a chance at a European spot. So I think it makes complete sense. And it was good to hear Roy say that. Because I think it shows his confidence in what we have as a team, what we can do as a squad. I think it shows a little bit. And we've been playing great football as of late. And I think if we continue to do that and down the road, like he was saying, we start making good moves and bringing in good talent and eventually, having to sell certain talent for hopefully substantial profit, we'll be able to find ourselves knocking on that door. So, but hey, let me go to the chat here just to hear from you guys. Tim says, from your keyboard to Roy's team sheet, Patrick. Hey, yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully so. Plus, we always get more slept when he's a pacey. Yep, exactly. Like you said. Zach. And then let's see, Dean here. Hughes is much smarter on defense. I agree. And he works harder on defense also. Much more composed, keeps the ball ticking. Yeah, he's a very good passer. I feel like with Schlupp's passing ability comes in sometimes. He's always good with a good lead pass, a good splitting lead pass every now and again. But I feel like of the two, Hughes is going to be the more consistent passer overall. Daniel says, I love Hughes' work rate, energy. He should get the start. I agree. Yeah, England had a huge coefficient, so easily possible for any mid-table to luck into Europe. Yeah, exactly. So it's just one of those things you definitely gotta play the odds too. We're no worse than Burnley and West Ham, etc. No, I don't think we are. I don't think we are. Like, I think the difference in between us and like a West Ham at this point is just the fact that they have a bigger spending power than we do at the moment. And I think that's really the probably the main thing that separates them from us right now is their spending power. I mean, they're able to shell out £100 million consistently in windows, damn near, like very, very consistently. So I think that's one of the big differences between us and them. Yeah, I mean, I don't. When we're looking at mid-table, to like top 10 up to those, 7 through 10, I guess. I mean, I really feel like we're just outside. They were right there competing with all those teams for those spots. Tim said, no matter what, it feels like Villa is a test of our depth. Yeah, definitely, especially with the injuries. That's been a worry for us, and I hope we hold up. Yeah, I mean, I think looking at the squad and who's going to be coming in, who's going to be playing, and who's going to be available to come in off the bench. For me, I think, um, depending. I guess it depends on who he decides to start. If you start both Mateta and Edouard, then the concern becomes your attacking depth that you have on the bench. Um, we're decently deep in midfield. We have good options there, I guess you could say. Um, Thankfully, with the loss of Guehi, we have really good depth in the center of our defense. So I feel like we're decently set up to give them a good game. I don't think we're gonna come. I don't think. I would be surprised to see us come out and just be absolutely terrible. I don't see that. Now we may come out and be very defensive and not have a lot of possession and not see a lot of shots at first, or maybe, God forbid, it could be all game. But I think from a Roy managed side, we're going to come out and we're still going to be organized. We're going to be pretty resolute. I think we're going to be tough to beat. Um, but I don't expect us to just come out and be horrible at all. Buzzsaw says, would you take a draw at Villa? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because then that will put us in a situation where we've gotten, I believe, off the top of my head, I think it'd be 8 points in our first 5 matches. I'll definitely take that. And you're what? 2-2-1 with only one loss in your first 5. I'm definitely taking that. On the road, too. I mean, that means you took a point from Villa on the road. That means you took a point from Wolves on the road. So I definitely would take that. Patrick says people banter West Ham, but they are a bigger club than us historically and recently. Yep, and I think that factors into the buying power thing. They have won the FA Cup very recently. They've been in Europe consistently lately. They won the Conference League last season. Yep, exactly. I mean, they are a quality London club. Like that, you can't. I don't think people can. I don't think that the banter that people put on it is legitimate to what they've been able to accomplish. Like we're sitting and talking about a team that just won the Europa Conference League. Our fan base would chomp at the bit to even have a chance to be in that competition right now, right or wrong. As Palace fans, we would absolutely love to find ourselves in that competition. Just be in it. They won it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't banter them. You can't. But do I think that we can compete with them on the pitch, especially right now? Absolutely, absolutely. But like you said, they are the big club. I don't think there's any debating that for sure. Benjamin says, I'm scared, not gonna lie. I mean, nerves is expected, especially when you're dealing with those type of injuries. So I get it. But seriously, I can see us in the Conference League before Domestic Cup, a la West Ham. Yeah, I mean, especially because it's funny because I think the hardest part is getting there for us. Because I think if we actually get there, we can compete with all those teams that are in those competitions. We definitely can. I think the hardest part, really, in a lot of senses, is just getting there. To be honest, Tim says T is also right about the spending power. West Ham get 4 times or so in just match day revenue, and we still compete with them pretty well. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like at least right now. I'm not saying past history. It's one of those things like, yes, they have the spending power. They definitely got way more money than us, but the product on the pitch when we go and we play them, it's never a for sure. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna beat us. We're gonna, this is a free hit. It's never a free hit when we play them. We always have a chance to get a result. I feel like, at least lately. He said, "Man, I take a conference league slot. Would love that. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, would absolutely love it. Also, as taxpayers basically built them a huge stadium. Yep, like Tim said, super important point. Yep. Yes. Hey, hit the like button, man. You hear my man Bolix. Hit the like button. I appreciate all of you tuning in right now, man. We're gonna wrap this up here in a second, but because I just love getting a chance to chat with you all and things. But yeah. So Roy had a pretty good conference talking about the team. Nothing too I guess the most surprising thing was the Jefferson Lerman hamstring thing, which was tough. But I don't think he said anything else other than that we weren't expecting and see. But looking forward to the match tomorrow, man. It's going to be a good one. Hopefully, we get a solid performance. We've shown that we can play well on the road so far. So we'll see how that goes, man. But hey, Tim, see you, man. Appreciate it, man. As always, buddy. Up the pilots, buddy. Benjamin, what you say here, man? T, who you think is better, SA or Elise? Oh, come on, Benjamin. Why are you doing this to me, man? I love them both, man. I love them both. I think they first of all, they complement each other extremely well, could see at the end or mid to the end of last year. I can't make that call, man. I can't make that call. SA is my boy, but I can't make that call, man. Let's just say I'm really happy that we still have both of them, and they're doing great things for the club. So, but that'll pretty much wrap things up, man. I want to say thank you to all of you who tuned in with me this half hour, just chat up things from the press conference, and talk about tomorrow's match. But we will be back tomorrow for the live match reaction. So you guys can tap in with us then, and come on and talk about the match, and have your say and chat with us and things. We really look forward to it. Thank you all for joining today, and as always, up the palace.